Today we're covering everything you need to know about zombie senses. Let's get to it. Have you ever wondered how good a zombie's vision is or how well its hearing works? Well, today you're going to get the answers to those questions. Zombies have two senses that work, and I state two senses that work because there's a third sense, smell, but that doesn't seem to be fully implemented yet, and we'll get to that later on. I do need to point out here that we are only going to be talking about awake zombies today, not sleeping zombies. Sleeping zombies are a whole other shebang that I can't figure out how to test yet because I don't know how to spawn in sleeping zombies and create a sterile testing environment, and the code doesn't tell me everything that we need to know, and you'll understand that here more in a moment. But just know that this video is just going to be covering zombies that are awake and alert. I'll cover sleeping zombies in a future video if I can ever figure out how to get consistent results. So we're going to start with zombie vision. To understand how zombie vision works, you need to understand light levels, and we're going to take a look at some code from the entity class XML that is going to show us how zombies see, well, how they detect us based on light level. So this is labeled stealth, but this is not just stealth. This is how they see you altogether, because that also is what affects stealth. Hopefully that makes sense. So to start off, you can see we have the zombie's viewing angle. Well, it's max viewing angle, which is 180 degrees. And then we have the important one here, which is sight range. And this is the distance in meters. Then we have the sight light threshold, which is how well lit you have to be for a zombie to see you at minimum and maximum range. So that is divided there by the comma. So it's -2 at minimum range and 150 at maximum range. In broad daylight, if you're not moving or doing anything special, just standing still, you are at 100 light. This means at a max range of 30, you would need to have 150 light for the zombie to actually see you. And if you're up close, basically right next to the zombie, you need -2 light for the zombie to not be able to see you. So the big takeaway from this is that a zombie's maximum vision is 30 meters from you. If you are further away than 30 meters, they cannot see you. Being closer than 30 meters varies on when and where they will see you depending on what your actual light levels are. Do note that this is default settings. Feral zombies are a whole other different thing, but we're going to talk about that today. So I did a little setup here where we can easily test a zombie's sight. I do have a mod installed that shows us exactly how far in meters we are away from the zombie. It does mod the entities class XML, but I double checked all of my results and I double checked the code inside of that mod. It doesn't affect anything that would change the results that we're getting here today. This just helps us to know exactly what is going on and allows you to easily see what is going on. The text that is above the zombie's head is dev stuff that is inside the game. You can actually activate this just by hitting the 0 on the numpad, and it gives us a bunch of information about the zombie and allows us to quickly and easily see when the zombie detects us and comes running at us. Over here on the left side of the screen, you can see our light levels and our noise levels. These two numbers are used to decide if a zombie sees you or not, and together they are what make up your sneak effectiveness. We're not sneaking now, but when you do sneak, they're what decides on how well you're sneaking. The numbers on the ground show us how far in blocks we are away from the zombie. The zeros in purple are 10. I have the 5s marked in pink, so you can get a general idea of how far we are away block-wise. And as stated before, you can also see the number in meters on the zombie. We can tell if the zombie is seeing us with sight or sound because you can see above the zombie's head, it says noise 0, distance 0. If that triggers at all, the zombie hears you. If it doesn't trigger and the zombie comes at you, the zombie saw you and didn't hear you. So with all that said, this test was pretty easy. All I did was slowly inch my way towards the zombie in broad daylight, not sneaking. Feral senses off in this test. And you can easily and clearly see at 16 meters, the zombie has no idea we're standing here. So in broad daylight, 100% lit, a zombie cannot see you at 16 meters. The actual threshold for a zombie to see you at 100 light, so basically broad daylight, is 15.5 meters. So essentially, as long as you are 16 meters or more away from a zombie during the day, the zombie can't see you. Okay, so now what about nighttime? At nighttime, when you're out in the open, not covered by any shadows, your light level is 78. You would think that that would help, but it doesn't. The sight of a zombie is the exact same with those light levels. They can spot you at 15.5 meters. So you have to essentially be 16 meters or further away at nighttime for a zombie to not be able to see you. What about if you're sneaking? Well, during the daytime, when you are sneaking in broad daylight, your light level is 60, which is kind of funny because that's actually lower light level than walking around not sneaking during the night. At light level 60, a zombie cannot see you past 12.5 meters. meters. So you are safe from zombie vision 13 meters or further away from said zombie. Now, when you're sneaking at nighttime, your light level actually drops down to 45. Well, 45 and some change. At this light level, a zombie cannot see you past 9.5 meters. So essentially, you are safe if you are 10 meters or further from a zombie during the night and you are sneaking. Okay, so now you understand how well a zombie's vision works during the daytime, during the nighttime, when you are sneaking and when you are not sneaking. Let's talk about those values when it comes to having feral sense on, because it is significantly different with feral sense on. If you have feral sense turned on and it's broad daylight, your light level is 100, a zombie can see you up to 38 meters away. Anything past 38 meters, they are completely blind. But 38 is significantly further than if you have feral sense turned off. That's over double the vision that they have by default. And sneaking isn't a whole lot better with feral sense on. At light level 60, so sneaking in broad daylight, the zombie can't see you past 31 meters. It's actually a little bit less than that, somewhere around 30.6, but just to be on the safe side, we will say anything past 31 meters. The zombie will not be able to see you if your light level is 60 or below. And now you're like, but what about nighttime? At light level 45, it's gotta be better, right? No, not a whole lot. So at nighttime, if you are out in the open, your light level should be around 45. Once again, it matters whether you're out in the open or inside. Being inside can significantly reduce your light level. But out in the open, it's 45, and a zombie with feral sense turned on cannot see you at light level 45 if you are further than 24 meters away. They are triggered at exactly 23.5 meters. Okay, now that we've covered everything you need to know about zombie sight with feral sense on and with feral sense turned off, let's talk about sound. So sound is much easier to test here. As I stated before, if you see over top the zombie's head where it says noise and distance, if that triggers at all, that means they heard you. It only triggers for a split second, but when it does trigger, that means they know where you're at and they're coming for that sound. Well, they don't know where you're at, but they heard that sound and they're going to that location. This actually works with AI turned off, so we can see it trigger and I can just leave the AI off and test the distance. At 10 meters away from a zombie, you're safe to noise levels up to about 33. This is doing things like a heavy attack. Note, that's not actually connecting with anything. That's just your normal noises. I do want to point out that noise level stacks. So each time you do a thing that makes a noise, it stacks on top of the other one, and they have a period of time at which they're active. So let's say you do a normal swing and it's a that may be active, and I say maybe because I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at the noise XML. All the data is actually in there, but we'll just say that's active for like a second and a half. Well, within that second and a half, if you make another noise, that noise value is going to stack on top of it, which is why when you see me swinging here with heavy attacks back to back, it goes from 33 to 50. That's the noise values stacking on top of each other. So you need to be aware of this because we're talking about noise level and the amount of noise that you are making. And I'm never going to know exactly how much noise you're actually making, nor will you unless you're sneaking. You'll have a general idea. So I'll just be giving you general examples of things that you can do and get away with it, and a zombie won't be able to hear you. So for this instance, you can do a normal heavy attack grunt at 10 meters and a zombie isn't going to hear you. At 35 meters, you can get up to noise level 72 and a zombie won't hear a thing. At 38 meters, they don't hear anything. You can run an auger all day. You can see I'm at a high noise level here at 158 and the zombie has no clue that I'm even there. So at 38 meters, they're completely deaf. They're not going to pick up pretty much anything you do. You can actually get a little bit closer and get away with a lot. At 30 meters, they don't hear much. You can mine, do whatever, and get pretty high noise values. And as long as your noise stays under 100, they're not going to hear you. So we don't need to cover night or sneaking for noise because it's not going to change how well a zombie hears when it comes to noise. Sneaking just muffles your noise so you can get away with more things because they just make less noise than they normally would. The zombie's still going to hear you at the same values whether you're sneaking or not. Okay, so let's talk about noise with feral sense on. So to put in perspective of how well a zombie can hear with feral sense, a zombie at 20 meters away, which is a considerable distance, can hear you reload your gun, which is a noise level of just over 36. Now you're probably like, what feral sense is on, so that makes sense. Okay, how about this? At 30 meters, they can hear 2 shots from a silenced pistol. That's only 53 noise. noise. So at 30 meters, anything that's higher than 50 noise, they're gonna hear it. At 45 meters, they can hear anything over 54. So at 45, you're good as long as you stay below 50. So don't do too many actions that make noise too quickly back to back, and you will be fine at 45 meters away. At 48 meters, the zombie's ears perked up at noise level 63. So at 48 meters, you are fine as long as you stay below 60. And anything past 50.2 meters, we'll just say anything past 51 meters, you're fine. Sound apparently does not travel far enough, or they can't hear far enough to pick you up past 51 meters. So yeah, if you want to be invisible to a zombie hearing wise with feral sense on, you have to be 51 meters or further away from the zombie. That is insane. Do you know how far? I mean, that is so far away. Look how tiny the zombie is. We can barely see the text on the screen. So needless to say, feral sense zombies are super zombies. They can hear you better than they can see you, and they can see really well. Okay, so now let's talk about smell. Smell is apparently a thing, or was a thing, or is gonna be a thing. I don't know. It's in the code, but it doesn't do anything. So you can see here, we have a smell alert threshold, and there are items that have an attribute on them for smelling. There are a couple different levels of smell. There's a small smell, medium smell, large smell, extra large smell, and then apparently a fart. There's also a test smell, but that says test smell, so I'm assuming that's never actually going to be a thing. There are only 2 foods with a smell attribute on them. There is the raw meat, which is an extra large, and bacon and eggs, which is large. The entity class XML says that smell only works for awake zombies. The miscellaneous XML gives us a hint that it builds heat on the map. Stealth, however, says that it works basically like sound, and everything can smell you, whether it's awake or asleep or whatever. So I did tests. It doesn't build any heat, and it doesn't attract a zombie. So I have our pinned zombie, and I have a wall between me and the zombie so it can't see me. I'm not moving, so it can't hear me, and it doesn't trigger at all. I tried eating the meat. I tried having the meat in my inventory. I tried having the meat in my hand, and the raw meat is supposed to be the strongest, and it does nothing. So raw meat doesn't build any heat, neither do bacon and eggs, neither do having both of them in my inventory or in my hand or eating them. And the zombie can't smell it through a wall. I even checked to just stand behind a zombie and turn the AI on and off and check to see if it would turn around quickly and know that I'm there because I'm holding raw meat in my hand, and it does not. And this is with feral sense on. So if it was ever going to do it, it would be doing it now, and it doesn't. So I don't think smell is fully implemented, and I'm not sure if it's going to be fully implemented, if it was started, not seen all the way through, if it's a feature they're working on. It could be something they're working on because there is code for the bandits in the XML files already, and we don't have bandits yet. So it's possible smell is a thing that's coming and it's just not here yet. It's also possible it was here at one point partially and then never got fully activated and it's leftover remnants. But it's a sense. I wanted to cover it, wanted to tell you about it so you know what's going on. All right, and I think that covers everything for this video. You have any questions or anything, let me know down there in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Hopefully you all found this video helpful and informational. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more 7 Days to Die content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.